probably didn't realize was possible here today. So my name is Diveej S. I'm the founder CEO of starterschool.com. We've worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of teenagers, helping them get caught up to all these new technologies that schools don't catch up to on time. All right, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an educator. I've been a full-time business owner for 11 years now. Isn't that crazy? 11 years full-time. And I actually run one of these presentations every single year. Ever since 2020, I've done one of these every single year. And the last time I did one of these, was around September. And I'm having to do them more frequently now because it's accelerating. It's not just, every year being updated. It's accelerating. In fact, I was one of the first 500 people to gain access to ChatGPT. Okay? There's probably 800 million people that use it here today. I was one of the first 500 people. I got access to it back in 2020. Here's the president and co-founder, of OpenAI. This is the company that made ChatGPT, okay? And, being a part of that early beta program was very eye-opening to me, and it helped me understand where the world was headed. In fact, Laura said that this presentation was eye-opening and that every parent needs to see this. I agree with her. Terry said that she had never really thought about the impact of AI until I had explained it very, very simply. Okay, so that's what I'm here to do. I'm not going to get into all this tech jargon. All right, I'm going to explain things simply and easily so that you can clearly picture what's happening right now and what's about to happen in the next few years. So here's the agenda. All right, in our short time together, we got 4 important things that we're gonna be discussing here. Number 1 is how smart is AI in 2026? All right, this should be a little eye-opening for you, realizing that this stuff is actually nuts, how fast this stuff is moving. Second section is the AI disruption that's happening right now. There are 2 big updates that I need to get you up to speed on. Finally, the third section is, probably the most important if you have teenagers, the opportunities that exist now with AI for teenagers and why it's different for them compared to everyone else that's working in their own careers. And then the final section is how your teenager can tap into this and win in an AI future. So let's go ahead and get this kicked off. How smart is AI here in 2026? Now, I want to ask you a question, okay? Let me figure out how to get the poll loaded on their screen. Here we go. I got it. Take a look at your screen, okay? I've got a poll for you. What's your experience with AI? All right, answer one of the 4 options that you see. Are you a complete beginner? Never used ChatGPT. Are you a beginner? Maybe you use ChatGPT daily or weekly. All right, that's wonderful. It's amazing. Life-changing, isn't it? Maybe you're intermediate. Maybe you're paying for an AI subscription. Wow, right? This stuff is so useful. Can't even imagine life without it nowadays. And then maybe some of you guys are the advanced folks, vibe coding it up, maybe using Claude Code. Maybe you're a developer. Maybe you're, using to build right now. You guys probably be able to geek out with me here. So there's 246 people here live right now. That's amazing, right? We got about 137 of y'all responded to the poll. I'm going to give it another 10 seconds. So take a look at your poll and make sure you answer one of those questions before I end it here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, here, I'm going to share the results with you. Okay, so we've got 22% of people who are a complete beginner. All right, I'm going to get you up to speed. This is going to be very eye-opening for you. 50% of you guys are 50% of you guys are beginners. You use ChatGPT daily or weekly. That's awesome. Keep doing that, right? This is going to save you a lot of time. It's going to help you make better decisions. 21% of you guys are intermediate. That's awesome, right? You guys are paying for a subscription and probably getting a lot of value out of it. And then 7% of you are my people, the advanced folks. I bet you we could really geek out on this. I'm going to get everyone up to speed here. So let's go ahead and get this started. For those of you that are complete beginners, I'm going to very quickly get you up to speed with where we've been over the last 3 years, okay? In 2020, this was my big aha moment, July of 2020, when I got early access to ChatGPT. In fact, it was called GPT-3 at the time. It wasn't even called ChatGPT. All right, and the whole world kind of opened their eyes to AI and how fast it was moving back in 2022. All right, most people, learned about this when it was released to the public. And back then in 2023, it was pretty smart for its time. It was scoring in the 88th percentile on the law school admissions test. That's amazing, right? 88th percentile, that means it did better than 88% of humans. What about for the SATs? Well, for the reading and writing back in 2023, it was scoring in the 93rd percentile. That's amazing. Better than I did in the SATs, right? What about the math? Okay, in 2023, it was scoring in the 89th percentile in the math. That's amazing, right? Those are incredible numbers. And on the AP tests, right? You guys familiar with the AP tests? These are the tests that high school students take to get college level credits. And the highest score you can get is a 5, and a really good score is a 4. And back in 2023, it was scoring 5s and 4s across the board. That's incredible. But that was also 3 years ago. Okay? So where are we here today? Well, I call it level 5. Okay? These technologies, these artificial intelligence technologies, have gotten so smart that they needed to create new tests to be able to gauge how intelligent these things are. They had to create new tests. Okay, take a look at these two tests. I think this is going to help you understand how very intelligent these things actually are. One of them is called the GPQA Diamond Test. All right, what is GPQA? It stands for Google Proof Question and Answer. That means questions that you can't just go on Google and figure out, right? These are questions that had to be created because it kept acing all of the human tests, all right? And the idea behind this was to see if AI could answer test questions so difficult that even PhD experts using Google would struggle with, okay? So it showed us whether or not these AI technologies can actually think through hard and difficult problems rather than just looking stuff up online, yeah? So imagine like, one of those physics questions from your high school class or your college class, the ones I'm talking about, the ones that make you say, what the heck how do I even approach this? All right, so that's called the GPQA Diamond. It's scoring 93% of the PhD level questions correctly, okay? 93%. That's amazing, okay? And these aren't just test questions, oh, that's cute type stuff. No, I'll show you what you can actually do with this level of intelligence. But first, I got to show you how smart this thing is, okay? So yeah, it's PhD level intelligence, and not only just regular person PhD level intelligence. I'm talking about like the top of the class PhD level intelligence, right? 93%. That's amazing. All right, so that was called the GPQA Diamond, right? PhD level questions. What about the GDP Val? This is really interesting, actually. In fact, this was created just a few months ago, in October of 2025, all right? Instead of just seeing if it could answer test questions, the conversation has now shifted to, hey, instead of AI passing a test, can AI do your job? Okay, they had to create this test just a few months ago because we're now past the whole benchmark stuff, the benchmark conversations, test scores. We're past that now. We want to see if these technologies can actually do a series of tasks correctly. So let's see how it was scoring here today, all right? It's getting 74% of the questions correctly. These are tasks with multiple steps in between that you got to do correctly. And in fact, just a few months ago, last year, 2025, it was only scoring 38% of the test questions, the work correctly. So we've doubled in just a few months. That's how fast this stuff has been accelerating, okay? And so, in fact, there's other tests that they had to make. Advanced reasoning tests, advanced mathematics, software engineering tests. In fact, let's look at the software engineering test because this is going to play a massive role in the next section here where we talk about the two big updates. This is the best way I can explain this, okay? There's a website called Code Forces where, human developers, they go to this website and they try to rank as high as possible by answering, coding questions correctly, by, actually coding. And if you score somewhere between a 1600 and a 1900, you're considered an expert. That's amazing, right? There's probably a few 100,000 people who are experts at coding. If you're scoring 2100 to 2300, you're a master. Wow, that sounds awesome, right? Being a master at something. There's probably, tens of thousands of those. What about when you're scoring a 2400 or higher? You're considered a grandmaster. You guys ever heard of those grandmaster chess players? There's only like maybe 1,000 of those around the world, right? Or what if you're a legendary grandmaster? That's amazing. That's like there's less than 100 of those in the world, right? So where's AI scoring with coding right now? Well, it's scoring in the 2700s, okay? That makes it top tier, okay? And I'm going to explain in the next section what you can do with this level of intelligence, because who cares if it can answer questions correctly, right? I want to know what you can actually do with it, right? I'm going to explain that in just a moment, all right? In fact, take a look at this date, you guys. This is even more recent. I made sure to include this in the presentation, okay? Take a look at this date. I'll zoom in here so that you can see it. That's not too long ago, huh? Yeah? Well, Google just released a new version that is scoring 3,400. 3,400. It's at the legendary grandmaster level now, okay? So the point is, here in 2026, it's gotten really, really capable. It's gotten very, very smart, okay? So let's talk about what is possible with this level of intelligence, all right? There's about 327 people live right now. That's awesome, all right? That's really cool to see. You guys are paying attention. You guys are the people who are taking time out of your day to invest in your knowledge so that you can better lead your family. That's amazing. So here's the AI disruption that's happening right now. There are two big updates. Number one, the first big update is that an AI can now be used to accomplish tasks for you online. Okay, this literally wasn't possible just a few months ago. Here's what I mean, okay? In other words, the computer can now be instructed to do tasks for you in the background, okay? You know how we have tasks or apps that run in the background, right? Maybe we've got a bunch of different apps like YouTube and Spotify and all these apps that run in the background. Now we can have intelligent AI workers running in the background. All right, let me show you an example. Would you like to see a demo? Would you like to see a demo? That would probably help you understand what I mean, right? Let me show you a demo here. I recorded this little video for you using these AI workers to accomplish a task for me. So I gave it the instruction of logging onto my LinkedIn and then searching for other ed tech founders just like me. I run starterschool.com. We have thousands of students, and I want to connect with other companies that also are, in that same space, right? So I've sped up this video so that you don't have to sit there for 5 minutes watching it all, okay? So my voice sounds like a little chipmunk because I've sped it up, but let me play it right now. Take a look at this.
I've instructed Claude to log into my LinkedIn, reach out to 3 people in the EdTech space with a message that says, hey, I have a mastermind for EdTech founders, let's connect. So now it has auto-Googled EdTech founder here. It's found several EdTech founders. I have basically told it the message that I want to send, which is, hello, I'm putting a mastermind together for EdTech founders. I own starterschool.com, let's connect. So what it's doing is it's sending the request to the browser. The browser is going to be controlled, and now it's doing each part of this. I did not click this. It auto-clicked it itself, and now it is filling out this information. Great. It just sent out its first connection request. It says here, the connection was sent successfully. So now it's doing the next person. It didn't have a connect button by this person's name, so it had to actually think about how to do this. It clicked on its profile. It clicked on the connect button just now, and now it knows what to do here. It's going to click add a note. Okay, so the Rod Clarkson connection was sent. Now he says, let me press the back button. Great. So it's connected with Meng Ting, and now it's going to go to William McCoy next. Yep, click on William McCoy. It's going to press more. Okay, so that was done. Now we've sent out 3 connection requests. All done. Connection request was.
So the big idea here is that these little AI workers, all right, a lot of people from Silicon Valley, they call them AI agents, right? Well, most people don't know what an agent is, so I like to call them AI workers. These can now be instructed to do work for you, just as I've shown you here. And it can all run in the background while you're doing all other stuff, okay? So I recorded this little demo, but I didn't expect anyone to actually reply to my message, but check this out, all right? Take a look at your screen. Remember that William McCoy gentleman? He actually responded to me. I wasn't trying to get a response, but he actually responded to me. He said, hey, I'm happy to connect. And we got a calendar appointment scheduled now. All right. And by the way, William McCoy, he's a former superintendent. This is like one of the heads of a school district. I own an education technology company. I would love to connect with him, right? So what did I do for myself? I created an opportunity, didn't I? Yeah. And my AI worker was the one that accomplished the task for me. All I had to do was give it the instruction. And what these AI workers can now do is they can run in the background and accomplish these tasks for you. So imagine this. Let me explain what you can do with this. Imagine you have maybe 4 of them running at the same time. Now, you got to be smart enough to be able to give it, intelligent goals. But if you had 4 of them running in the background, that sounds pretty productive, right? Yeah, it is. What if you had 8 of them working in the background? Right? That sounds even more productivity. What if you had even more? What if you had even more? Okay, this is not theory. You might think, oh yeah, Diveej, that's cool, but we're probably a few years away from that. No, we're not. This is the CEO of a $10 billion company. He has 800 employees. He says we now have more AI workers than employees. Okay, so yes, the intelligent founders, the people paying attention are utilizing these technologies. Why? Why are they doing that? Because it's 1,000 times cheaper. 1,000 times cheaper than hiring a human being, right? So the point here is that you need less people now to accomplish the same goals, right? You need less people now. And Zapier is not a tiny little startup. No, they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. So small teams can now do more. In fact, using technologies like this, it was not possible just last year, just a few months ago. Learning about this right now, you are among probably 10, 20, 30 million people in the world that know this is even possible. And even fewer people that know this is possible are even doing anything about it. Wouldn't that be cool if not only you had the knowledge, but you actually did something about it? Being an early adopter of this stuff, okay? Especially for teenagers. All right, if you have a teenager, I'm going to explain this and how this can be utilized in a productive way for them. Okay, so if you've ever seen that cartoon character with a bunch of different arms, right, that's kind of what you become when you learn how to use these technologies, right? Because now you can instruct these different AI workers to carry out tasks for you. Okay, so does this mean that jobs are in trouble? Right? Yes and no. Specifically, entry-level jobs are in trouble. And who does that affect the most, huh? Does it affect you? No. You probably have experience, right? No, it affects the college students that are taking on debt, or maybe their parents are paying an arm and a leg for their college tuition, yeah? So the thing you have to understand is, why would a company hire a human being for an entry-level position, a human being that has no prior experience, when they could maybe give this tool, this technology, to one of their senior executives or someone who's been with the company, and maybe they don't need that entry-level hire anymore, right? Yeah, so it does mean jobs are in trouble, specifically entry-level jobs. And what you don't want is your teenager going into a workforce where the competition is impossible, right? You don't want to be competing against 1,000 other people for the same tiny little role, right? Unless they're the superstar of that 1,000-person, applicant pool, right? But it also means that there are going to be more jobs created. Smaller teams can get more done, all right? Smaller teams can get more done. So that's big update number one. The computer can now carry out tasks for you intelligently and run in the background. Yeah, just like apps run in the background right now. So that's big update number one. That wasn't even possible before. Okay, so please don't think, oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. No, you literally couldn't do this. All right, so big update number two is that coding is not a safe job anymore. What the heck? That's the strangest thing. I thought coders were always going to have jobs, right? That was the kind of the thought process back in just a few years ago. You want to retrain for coding, right? No, actually, no, it was wrong, right? Let me prove it to you. Don't take my word for it. Remember when I said AI was a grand master at coding, right? I showed you the test scores that AI was getting on coding. Is scoring as a grand master level. What do you think that means? What do you think that means? Okay, let me show you. Would you like to see a demo? Would you like to see a demo? I'm sure a demo would probably help you understand. Let me show you how good AI is at coding, okay? So, a little background information, all right? I am not a coder, right? I'm a business owner for 11 years, but I'm not a coder. I've got a coder, senior software developer. His name is Jason, but me personally, I've degree in electrical engineering. Yeah, that's great, but I'm not a coder. And within the last few months, I've been able to build several different apps. Very high functioning app. Let me show you. All right. You see my screen? This is called Internship Hunt. I work with thousands of teenagers, right? We're an online school. And so part of that is teaching them the tech skills, but the other part of that is helping them tap into opportunities in their local area, helping them get internships. So I built this site. I'm not a coder. I don't know how to code. Okay. I'm going to click Get Started here. Huh. This looks kind of interesting, right? This looks like an app. Well, Actually, it is an app, and I built it. Okay, let's take a look at what you can do with it. Let me sign in first, right? It's got the classic sign in button and the login feature. Right, let me sign in with my user. Okay, so now I'm signed in. So what students do with this app that I built for them is they, inspect their local area. So I'm over here in Austin, Texas. We got any people from Austin, Texas here? Okay, drop a 9 in the chat so that I know. But what students do is they type in their zip code and they look for businesses that are interesting to them. All right, and then they find a business that they would potentially want to reach out to, and they click this button that says inspect. And now what it's doing is it's finding the decision makers of that company, right? The CEO, the managing partner, maybe one of the VPs. It's finding the people that work at the company and then trying to find their contact information. So students use this tool to be able to reach out to reach out for internship opportunities instead of just applying to fast food, grocery stores, and retail. Now, I could literally package this up. Okay, I could literally package this up and sell this as a service, couldn't I? Take a look at this. We found the founder. His name is Aaron Games of AWG Hudson and Associates PLLC. Okay, so now students have the contact information for this individual. They also have the phone for the business that they can call. So I'm going to hit save and close. I'm going to hit my prospects. And now teenagers can click the pitch button. It opens up Gmail. And it sends a predefined template message to that person's email that we just found. So now they're creating opportunities for themselves. And by the way, I built all of this. How long do you think it took for me to build this app? Maybe a few weeks, right? Maybe a month or two? No, I built this in about 5 hours. Guys, this would have taken $25,000 and 3 months worth of time if you hired someone from India to build this. If you hired someone from the United States to build this, it would have cost $70,000 and 3 months of time. I built this in about 5 hours. It's easy. Anyone can do it. It's not hard. None of this is hard. This literally wasn't possible for me before. I'm not a coder. And now I can build several different applications. Let me show you another app, okay? This is just Internship Hunt, right? And by the way, I could have literally packaged this up into a little company and then provided this as a $20 per month service and promoted it, right? But I'm not going to do that. I'm busy with building starter school. I'm not going to do that, but I could, right? I could. What about this one? This one's called Frame Check. I built this too. So inside of my company, we have 2 video editors, right? They edit all the videos that I put out. And we also have 1 creative director. And in fact, we were using a tool called Frame.io to manage all of our workflows. Okay, Frame.io was acquired by Adobe for $1.2 billion in 2021. And you know what? One day I got tired and I was like, you know what? I bet you I could build this. Instead of paying $150 a month, I bet you I can build this, okay? And I did. Check this out. This is a tool that allows our video editors to get feedback. So this is our creative director, Ellie. And anytime she uploads a new video, she puts it into FrameCheck, and she puts her little critique here, and then she hits add note. And now our video editors have specific notes that they have to check off. So this becomes a tool for us to become more efficient. And what did I do? I canceled this subscription because we don't need it anymore. I built it in like 2 or 3 hours. This literally wasn't possible just a few months ago. AI has gotten exponentially good over the last few months, actually, right? In fact, there's several other apps that I've built that I've used to replace things. I was paying $20 a month for WhisperFlow. I was paying $40 a month for Loom, Clockify, Otter. These are tools that I built myself in just a few hours, and now, you know what? I could actually compete with these companies, couldn't I? I built the main feature, and yeah, they have all the bells and whistles that I don't have, but I could add that over time. I could literally compete with these folks, these billion-dollar companies, but I'm not going to. I'm busy. I've got my own stuff going on. These are just tools to help me, organize our team and work faster. I created something called QuickRec that literally replaces 4 different tools that I was paying for. Built this in a couple days. It only took a couple days, and it's fun. It's not hard. You don't have to bang your head against the wall trying to get it to work. No, it's very, very simple. Okay? Final thing I'm going to show you is called File Finder. You guys ever try to find a file on your computer in Windows or Mac? It just gives you the most unnecessary files that you've never even thought about opening, things that come preloaded with your computer. I hate that. I hate when that happens. So I built my own File Finder tool for my computer. It allows me to pick specific folders, and it only searches those folders so that it doesn't give me 1,000 things that I didn't ask for. Right? I only use a few folders on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. So I built that in, what, 30 minutes? Right? So what does this all mean? Okay, let me kind of get you to the big idea here. It means that anyone in the world now can build a software business. There are no more barriers. And that's a really big deal. That's a really big deal. In the next section, I'm going to explain how your teenager can tap into this. These are two big opportunities that literally didn't exist just a few months ago. But it also means that there are going to be fewer entry-level jobs for software engineers. Is that fair to say? Yeah? If someone like me who doesn't know how to code can build software applications just as easily as being able to type, yeah, that does mean fewer entry-level software engineering jobs. I'm not saying software developers are going away. That's not what I'm saying. So if you're hearing that, let's step back just a little bit, okay? I'm saying the entry-level software engineering jobs are in trouble. And who does that affect most, huh? College students? People in high school right now trying to pick a career path, right? Because now the cost to create software has reduced by literally 1,000x in just a few months, too. Right? So yes, this is a world-changing update, isn't it? This is not a tiny little benefit. No. Take a look at what my business partner, Jason, said. Check this out. I'm going to read it out loud. He said, "The past 2 weeks working with Claude Code, I have found a new workflow and new ways of getting the AI to do what I want. Since this is working so well, I don't think we'll be needing any new software engineers for a while. My productivity has increased a ton. Also, I have mentally resigned my developer identity. I've decided to re-identify as a technical founder. That's going to be my title moving forward. This may seem silly, stupid even, but this marks a significant shift in mindset for me around identity. I am developing new features at light speed and making sweeping changes across the app, fixing things long forgotten, and revamping entire systems." Guys, he said, since this is working so well, I don't think we'll be needing any new software engineers for a while. Right? Yeah, so this trend is going to continue. It doesn't just stop at what Starter School is doing. No, this trend is going to continue. There's going to be fewer and fewer entry-level jobs in software development. You see what I'm saying? Are you getting this? Is this making sense to you? Hopefully it is. All right? Take a look at what one of the first engineers at Facebook just said. Right? He's like one of the first 10 engineers at Facebook. He built the search feature. "I spent a lot of time over the weekend writing code with Claude, and it was very clear that we will never ever write code by hand again. It doesn't make sense to do so." He said, write code by hand, right? As if it's like the old way of doing things, and he's right. Right? So coding will never be the same again. All right, have I proved my point? Coding jobs aren't safe? Have I proved my point? I'm not trying to fearmonger. No, I hate that crap. No, I'm being serious. This is where we are today. This is not like theory type stuff. Well, maybe in a few years. Elon will do this. Maybe in a few years. No, it's happening right now. All right, so none of this stuff is hard either. No, it's actually so easy. You just need to know how. Right? And so there is a good news in all of this. There's a good news, right? There's massive opportunities for teenagers because of this. I'm going to talk about that in the next section. Okay, so let's continue on with the fun that we're having, shall we? Shall we continue on with the fun we're having? All right, take a look at your screen here. I got a question for you. Open up the chat. Which one of these is AI? One or two? Type it in the chat for me, my beautiful people. Which one of these is AI? Huh? Can you tell? Maybe you can tell. Let's see how many people get this correct. Okay. So 99% of you guys got it wrong. They're both AI. We can't even tell anymore. All right, what about this one? Let's see if we can do a little bit better. Let's see if we can pick the right one. Okay, which one of these is AI? 1, 2, or 3? What about this one? This is a different one. No. Which one of these is AI? People are all over the place. Some people saying 1, some people saying 2, some people saying 3, some people saying 2 and 3, and some people saying no clue. Can't even tell. Right. Well, the answer is they're all AI. You can't tell. The only way someone would have guessed that correctly is if you just guessed. Oh yeah, the last one was all AI, so maybe this one is all AI. You can't literally tell. All right? Okay. Now, this is where we're at with artificially generated image. What about videos? Okay, we used to be very easy. We used to be able to tell if an AI video was AI or not, right? It used to be very easy to tell. In fact, watch how fast we can tell that this is AI. Let's listen to this.
This amazing supplement has completely
We don't need to watch anymore. We don't need to listen anymore. We already know it's AI. It's super fake looking, right? Super fake sounding. No one does this. What about this one? Can you tell if this is AI or not? Let's listen to this very carefully. Let's try to find if this is AI or not. It is.
Okay, confession time. Everything you see right now, this face, my voice, it's all artificial intelligence. Pretty convincing, right?
What the heck? That was AI? I would have never been able to tell. Right? So this is where we're at right now. Videos, images, AI content is now indistinguishable from reality. That's where we're at here. And it didn't used to be like that maybe 6, 7 months ago, right? So yeah, this is actually accelerating. Okay, what about real-time video? Check this out, all right? Let me give you some context on this. This gentleman right here, that's the human, okay? This is his AI avatar. Check this out. That's actually very, very weird. That's a little concerning, isn't it? Okay, yes, it's concerning. There are cons to this technology, and we can kind of imagine the scary future that could turn into, right? But there's also some pros, too, right? Let's take a look at some of the pros. Check this out, all right? Let me give you some background information on this. The girl here in her bathtub with the towel, that's the actual human. This is her AI avatar. Check this out.
What's your excuse not to film content now? This is me right now, but this is my AI avatar. I don't even have to wear makeup, to dress up. I can even be in my bathtub, but my avatar is gonna look amazing and presentable. What's your excuse not to film content?
She said, I don't even have to wear makeup, dress up. What's your excuse not to make content, right? That's amazing. You can't even tell, right? And some of you might be thinking, is this guy AI? Is this guy AI right now? No, I'm not AI, guys. My name's Diveej S. It's nice to meet you. All right, I'm not AI for those of you thinking that right now. All right, check this out. This is video effects. All right, let me show you how different the future of creating movies is going to be and why even video effects artists are probably in trouble.
This is the real me, and this is an AI replacement. The background is real, the AI character is not. But we can flip it. Real person, AI background. You can do crazy visual effects like this.
Right? So crazy visual effects, right? That probably is going to change a lot of the industries. In fact, take a look at this. AI animations for cartoons, movies, any sort of TV shows is changing rapidly. Let me show you how advanced this stuff has gotten. Okay, take a look at this. Okay, now what you're about to see is kind of intense. So I'm sorry if it's a little too intense. It's a Spider-Man cartoon that was created by one person in a week. Okay, check this out. It's all AI. He used AI to help build all of this.
Ganbare, Tiger.
We got 34 coming over at the intersection of
Street and Prospect Avenue. By their job is advising male assaulted, 6 hours panic, male black. Took tools from the victim. あれは一体何なんだ。引き起こせ。
Guys, it probably would have taken a team of 4 to 5 people, I don't know, what, a couple months to create something like this. And now one person is able to do this in just a few days, right? How is this even possible? Well, it's because you can now generate a bunch of different scenes, right? You can artificially generate a bunch of different scenes or whatever you're even imagining. And now each one of those scenes can be turned into a video, and then the human being puts it all together, puts the voiceover, the sound effects, puts it all together in the scene-by-scene transitions. And so you can literally create movies. Anyone can do this. In fact, if you wanted to do this just 10 years ago, it would have cost, what, millions and millions of dollars? The traditional cost to create Toy Story was 5 years, and it took 10,000 people working full-time for 5 years to create Toy Story. And we don't know what the new cost is. All of this is so new that, I mean, just by you hearing about this right now, you're going to be able to better lead your family. These are the things that was not possible just a few months ago, and now it is possible. That's how rapidly it's accelerating. Even movies are changing. Is anyone here a fan of Jackie Chan? I used to watch Jackie Chan movies with my dad. Take a look at this. This is all AI generated. Now, it's not perfect, but it's getting there. Check this out. You really can't tell, right? You really can't tell. So let's go ahead and rapid fire the rest of these so that you're brought up to speed with what's possible here today. And then we're going to talk about the opportunities that exist for your family, specifically for teenagers, with all these new advancements that's happening. All right, advertising is changing. You no longer need a full studio and actors and scripts and lighting and video equipment to create great ads. Not anymore. Nope, anyone can do this. It's super, super simple. Anyone can do this. Product designers, the job of theirs is changing quite rapidly. You no longer need to sketch up a bunch of stuff. No, in just a few minutes, you can create a bunch of different product design ideas for your shoe company or hats or watches or whatever. Now, actually making it in the physical world, that's the hard part, okay? You still have to make it in physical reality, right? Graphic designers, forget about it. It's over. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that. If your teenagers think about going into graphic design and spending 4 years being an expert at Photoshop, I'm just the messenger here, guys. Don't be mad at me. I'm telling you that now anyone can do this, and you don't need to be an expert at Photoshop or Canva anymore. Okay? Graphic designers are absolutely going to feel a lot of pain. The ones that were trained, right? In fact, I lived with a graphic designer about 8-9 years ago. He was one of my best friends. He worked with concert venues and festivals to create these poster arts. But now he doesn't get called for these gigs anymore. He had to reinvent himself. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people who spent years getting good at this skill are a little pissed off. And now everyone can do this. Everyone can do this. You don't need to have any more specialized skill in this. Financial analysts. You don't need a team of 100 people reading all the documents from every single company that's released every quarter. No. In fact, BlackRock just laid off 600 employees because you can now do this with AI with smaller teams. All right? Data analysis is changing. You don't need experts to code up data analysis Python tools anymore. Nope, AI can actually analyze data at an amazing level now. Okay? If you haven't used the pro subscriptions, you might be thinking, oh, well, AI gets a lot of things wrong. Well, yeah, maybe the one you're using. Not all AI is created equally. Okay, the most advanced models, they're not getting stuff wrong. In fact, they're replacing human jobs right now. Even influencers are changing. This is the weirdest thing ever. I would have never thought that this would be a reality that we live in, but here we are. Okay, there's a Buddhist monk AI influencer. He has 2.5 million followers, and half the people don't even know he's AI. And he's just giving advice about from Buddhist monastery, whatever. Right? So he's even selling ebooks and guided meditations on his Instagram channel. It's the weirdest thing. Even 3D model is changing, okay? Now, it's not quite there yet, but this is where we're headed, right? 3D modeling is changing, and that affects a lot of different industries like game design, okay? Game design is changing very rapidly. Check out what Google just released a few months ago, okay? You can now create any sort of world, and you can have a little character moving around that world. So take a look at this. This looks like a video game, doesn't it? This looks like a video game, doesn't it? Right? And this is like the base reality for a video game that you can generate like this with Google's new technology. That's where we're at today. It's not hard to do this. Just like I can code up whatever now, even though I'm not a coder, I'm going to be able to create different games like this, even though I'm not a coder. Okay, so yeah, even music is changing. This is the weirdest thing too. Okay? We thought that music was a human ability only, right? Well, we were wrong. Let's listen to the song. Let me know if you like the song or not, okay? This is fully AI generated. All of it. The music, the beat, the vocals, everything's AI. Let's listen to it.
Wander through the desert night, stars like ghosts, no end in sight. Dusty roads, the silence tight, lose myself in this lost fight. Chasing shadows, they don't last. Memories of the distant past. Walking dreams that fade so fast. Strangers' faces I walk past. And then
That's incredible. Do we care who made the song if it's good? No, we don't, right? We just listen to good music. It doesn't matter who made it. So yeah, are artists and singers a little pissed off right now that anyone can create stuff like this? Yeah, they're a little upset, right? Because they spent years and years and years getting good at something, and now everyone can do very easily, even a 9-year-old, right? That's how easy this stuff is. So yeah, things are changing, huh? Even tax preparation and accounting is changing. The easy stuff, AI is doing it already. Okay. Now the difficult stuff like corporate taxes, it's not there. It's very far from being there. But this is where we're headed. Okay. Even content editing is changing. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. Translation is solved. Forget about it. You don't need any more translators across the world. We can now have instant translation in any language in our own voice. Take a listen to this video by Mark Zuckerberg speaking in Hindi. Right? This is the language they speak in India.
नमस्ते सभी को हमारे पास क्रिएटर्स के लिए कुछ रोमांचक खबर है हम और भाषाओं में AI अनुवाद लॉन्च कर रहे हैं तो इसका
Right? That's his own voice. What about this Joe Rogan reading an advertisement in Spanish?
Este episodio es presentado por Athletic Greens, la bebida nutricional.
Right? That's his own voice. So now we can create a piece of content, we can distribute it across the entire world in 50 different languages very, very easily, right? Translation is solved. Photography, all right? You're not going to hire an AI photographer for a wedding. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you need a LinkedIn-style professional headshot, are you going to drive up to a studio and spend $600 and hire a photographer to do that? Or are you just going to take a selfie and then have an AI generate the picture for you very, very easily? Yeah, you're probably going to do that, right? You don't have to even get glamored up. Fashion design, you don't need to sketch up stuff anymore. Even modeling is changing, okay? For a lot of the e-commerce brands, mom and pop shops, you don't need to hire a model to change out different clothes to have posted on a website. No, you can now have AI models actually taking whatever that you create and having them wear it. So yeah, even customer support is changing rapidly this year. And I'm not talking about the really crappy customer support AI stuff that we've seen in the past, right? Anytime we talk to AI's customer support, we get so mad, right? No, not anymore. It's getting very good. In fact, the next time, after maybe 2027, next time you get in touch with a human person, you're going to be a little frustrated. You're like, no, put the AI on the phone, right? The AI understands me, and it's quite intelligent. That's where we're headed. So let me pause there, okay? Do you guys notice a common pattern here? Huh? If you don't, let me kind of get you the punchline. The common pattern here is that everything that you saw was digital. right? Never once did we talk about electricians and plumbers and construction workers, right? Maybe one day when Elon Musk builds those damn robots, but I'm not here to theorize about the future. I'm telling you where we are right now, okay? Yeah, maybe 5, 10, 15 years from now, blah, 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 blah. No, we're not talking about what's going to happen in the future. And I'm not saying that these jobs are going away either. I'm saying that there's going to be fewer entry-level opportunities in each of these. In fact, one person can probably do all of these jobs if they're smart enough, capable enough. They can actually be very capable as one individual, right? So even things in healthcare and law are changing, but we're going to go ahead and skip past that so that we can get into the third section here. Here's the opportunity that exists for teenagers. Okay, let's be optimistic, shall we? It's so easy to be pessimistic about this stuff, right? Oh, things are going to go wrong. We're going to get scammed and this and that. Well, yeah, you're right. There's always cons to new technologies, but there's also massive opportunities, right? And if we can spot those opportunities and tap into it before everyone else, that's where the magic happens, huh? That's where that magic happens. All right, so the big opportunity here is that you can do more with less resources, right? And guess who doesn't have that many resources? Teenagers, right? Teenagers don't have skill. They don't have money. They don't have a big network. So the people in society that this can help tremendously are young people, right? Because young people can do more with less resources. The excuses, I can't code, or I don't have money, or I'm too young, they're not excuses anymore. There are no more excuses. That's the big idea here. Okay, before you had a ton of excuses not to do something, right? I don't have the money to hire software engineers. I don't know how to raise money. I don't have the skill. I haven't gone to college yet. I don't have a big network. My best friend doesn't know how to code or do this or that. I don't know the right people. No, none of those excuses are valid anymore. There are no more barriers. The excuses are gone. Are you getting this? So how big is this opportunity, huh? How big is this opportunity for teens? Well, it depends on how you use it, right? It depends on how you use it. If you use it like a toy, guess what? You're probably not going to do anything world-changing. If you use it to cheat on homework all the time, you're probably going to limit yourself, right? So yeah, but if you use it in a different way, something that creates value in the world, something that allows you to do more, serve people, right? That's where the opportunity is. Let's take a look at one of my best friends. He's a sports medicine doctor. He has a little side hustle where he works with orthopedic clinics. Each client to him is worth $100,000 per year. So what he did with this new AI worker technology is he cut the time that it would take him to accomplish his business growth goals, and he was able to get stuff done so much faster. Let me show you. The old cost of him reaching out to all these orthopedic clinics would be 20 hours of manual research, finding the right contacts, all this stuff, right? And then maybe 20 hours of manual outreach. And this would be so daunting that he would put it off for months and months and months. He'd probably never do it. His business would probably never grow as fast as it is now. But now, the setup for this is 10 minutes. The manual research is done by AI. It's not even done by him. It takes him 1 hour. It takes AI 1 hour to do it. It runs in the background while he's sipping a margarita. And then you just press a button. It reaches out to those people, right? Again, while he's either napping or working at the clinic, right? So it's creating opportunities for him, isn't it? Just like it did for me with that LinkedIn example I showed you earlier, right? And each client to him is worth so much money. So yeah, the opportunity depends on how you use it. So should we help teenagers figure out how to tap into this in a productive way? I think we should, right? Especially if you have teenagers between 12 and 19. In fact, I run starterschool.com. You know, this is all I think about. I serve teenagers in that age range. I work with them. I've worked with thousands of teenagers since the lockdowns. And the big idea now is that there's no more excuses, that I've heard so many excuses over the years. Nope, not anymore. This is huge. It allows them to be more creative and ultimately find something that they're really passionate about and actually do something about it. They don't have those barriers of entry that previously existed. Okay, so let me explain how your teenager can actually tap into this and win. Okay, there's a new unlock. Okay, pay very careful attention to what I'm about to say. This is really big. There's a new unlock in the psychology of the brain with AI now. Okay, let me explain. You guys ever work out, right? It takes months to see results, doesn't it? You work out so hard, you put in the time and the consistency, and finally you get your first compliment. Janet, have you been working out? Yeah, I have. Thank you. Right? It feels so good. You want to keep going, but it takes you a while to get to that first compliment, right? It takes you a while to recognize yourself in the mirror and see that progress. Or maybe you're trying to make your lawn look amazing, or maybe you're planting a garden or keeping up with your garden area. It takes a long time to see those results, right? Yeah, it does. Right? And so the minute you get that first compliment, you feel so excited about it. But now, let me explain how this relates to the brain with teenagers. Typically, when teenagers are learning a new skill, they get excited about it, and then they go and figure out something they get stuck on, and then they maybe quit, right? They're obsessed about it, and then they get stuck, and then they quit. They lose interest. You can now move so much faster with AI that you get the excitement of progress daily. Okay, let me repeat that. This is really important. Because of how fast you can move with AI now, because these tools are so incredible, it can do things for you in an hour's time, you get the excitement of progress much faster. And what this does to their brain, and I've seen it. I work with teenagers, thousands of them. I've seen it. It signals and excites their brain to keep going. Right? It signals to their brain that they should keep going because they can see the progress that they're making. They're not getting stuck and having to feel like they have to grind through it all, right? And so what this does is it creates a feedback loop that I've never ever seen something like this before. This is amazing. They start working on it. They see the progress right away. They like to do it. They get better at it. It's this feedback loop that turns these teenagers into absolute powerhouses, right? They get really excited about something. Are you getting this, you guys? Guys, type a 2 in the chat if you understood what I just said. This is a big deal. This was not possible before, right? When you're learning code, you got to study it for quite a while before you ever produce anything worth a damn. No, not anymore. You have the idea, you make progress, you see the progress, you get excited, and it makes you want to keep going. It's amazing. This is the new unlock that has happened, okay? So here's what they need to do. Here's what they need to do. They need to become a leader in AI. They have to. This is the new way of growing in the economy. You got to be able to use AI in productive ways inside of these organizations. That's who they're going to want. They want people who can independently task the AI. Right? And there's 3 ways to do this. Number 1, you got to be early. Please do not wait around. You're hearing about this so early. All right, you've taken time out of your day, invested time out of your day to learn about this. You're probably mind blown on what's even possible. All right, and the worst thing that can happen is that you say, "Oh, that was cool," and then you don't do anything for a year and a half later, and then you finally realize, "Oh crap, I should have done that when I learned it at the very start." So there's no more limitations on digital businesses. Please do something about this. If 5 years ago or a few months ago, I came up to you and I said, "Hey, I'm going to give you a software engineer. He's going to be one of the best in the world. You're just going to have to pay me $20, and I'm going to have him work for you 24/7. You'd be like, "Get out of here. That doesn't make any sense. That's too good to be true. Get out of here. You're a scammer. Get out of here," right? No, this is possible now. So don't take that for granted, right? You got to be an early adopter of this stuff. That's when you actually tap into the opportunities. That's when your family can tap into the opportunities. You've got to be an early adopter. It doesn't matter when everyone else knows about it. Then it's just becoming expected of you, right? So you've got about 2 years here before everyone kind of, the early majority start getting involved. You got about 2 years here. So please do something about this, because it used to take 12 or 18 months to build quality products digitally. Now you can get to the version 1 in just a few hours. Okay, so number 1, being a leader in AI today means you got to be early. Do not wait around for this stuff. Yeah, get your teenager involved in this. It's easy. It's not hard. It's easy, right? Because it doesn't matter when everyone else knows it, right? So number 2 is you got to learn the modern tools. I'm not even talking about AI. All right, AI is great. That aside, there have been new modern tools over the last 15 years, things that you can do on a computer now. And in fact, that's what my company traditionally helped with. This is what Starter School was built to do, is help teenagers learn these technologies. I'm not even talking about AI. I'm talking about all the stuff that came out over the last 15 years. That's what we do. We create real-world projects for teenagers where they have to use these different tools and get to an end result. That's what we do, all right? And none of this stuff is hard. You just need to know how. But you can't learn it the wrong way. I see so many people learning stuff the wrong way, where they try to memorize something and then they try to take tests about it. Okay, maybe you've seen your teenager taking tests and studying and cramming. It's like studying an instruction manual for furniture that you have to build. Would you ever just study the instruction manual all day long? No, you wouldn't. You're going to forget all that information in the next week. The proper way to learn something is you build the damn thing. You got to build the furniture, right? And then you can remember building the furniture. You build that skill set, the confidence, the tools to use. How hard do you screw the thing, you know? Right? So you learn a lot more by doing it. So you got to learn these new technologies the right way. You don't memorize an instruction manual, right? Right? You got to learn it the right way. Okay? So excuse my language here. I'm getting a little excited. Let me tone it down. All right, let me tone it down. There are many departments in an organization, right? And by learning these new tools and technologies, you are able to tap into a holistic understanding of an organization, the operations, the marketing, right? The sales, the finance, the HR, the customer support, the IT. You get to learn a little bit about all of it so that you understand how you are an architect of the organization. You become the architect of the organization rather than just, you know, going through the motions of a specific job. You start seeing the bigger picture. But what I would recommend is that you avoid legal for now. Okay, yes, you can use AI for all these legal things, but that might get you in trouble. Okay, so a little cautionary warning here. Okay, maybe just get it approved by an actual lawyer for now. Okay, so that's big idea number 2 on how to be a leader with this AI. And big idea number 3 is it's now better to be a generalist than a specialist. Okay, it used to be an insult, right? When someone called you, hey, you're a jack of all trades, master of none. It used to be an insult, right? Well, not anymore. That's actually a good thing now. For all those people who don't have specialties in anything, you can rejoice, because now being a specialist, spending years becoming a master at something is a little too risky. Because what if AI comes in next week and actually changes what you do and allows everyone in the world to do it, just like Jimmy, my graphic designer roommate? What about all the artists, right? Or what about all the software developers like my business partner? Yeah, that's really, heartbreaking, right? Because you spent years and years getting good at something. So here's what I'm recommending, okay? I'm not saying I have the right answer here, but I do know that it's too risky to just specialize in something right away. Build a solid foundation of a lot of different things, and then pick something, to specialize in, right? It's now better to be a generalist in that way. It's too risky to be a specialist, okay? So becoming a leader in AI involves 3 things. Number 1, be early. Get started now. It doesn't matter when everyone else knows about it. Number 2, you got to learn the modern tools outside of AI. There's tools that organizations are using across their whole departments. You learn those tools, you can better instruct AI. That's what we do at Starter School. We build real-world projects for that. And then finally, building a generalized skill set might be more fruitful than just specializing in something right away. So does that kind of change maybe the path that you're thinking about for your teens? Maybe a college degree might not be the best path. A specialized college degree, maybe that might not be the best path. I'm going to let you decide, okay? I don't have the right answer. So quick 60-second recap, and then I've got a plan of action for you guys. We talked about a few of the different tests that had to be created over the last few years, right? Because AI kept acing all of the human assessments. We talked about how strong it was scoring on software coding tests, right? It was scoring a legendary Grandmaster level now. We talked about the 2 big updates, the 2 monumental updates. Number 1, a computer can now be instructed to take control and actually accomplish tasks for you in the background, right? It runs in the background and it accomplishes things that you give it. That's amazing. This is a world-changing update for sure. It changes white-collar jobs, doesn't it? Okay, big update number 2 is that coding jobs are not as safe as they once were. Okay, in fact, I showed you that I am not a coder and I built several different applications very, very easily. None of this was hard. It took me a few hours. And I talked about internship hunt, talked about frame check, talked about quick rec, which replaced 4 different things that I was paying for, talked about file finder. I built all of those in a few hours. Talked about several different innovations across image generation, videos, animations, graphic design, financial analysts, game design, music, data analysis, modeling even, right? So the big idea was that there are no more excuses now and that they are unlocking something in the brain, in their brain, using AI productively. They're unlocking the ability to get passionate at a rapid rate. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen working with teenagers. They feel like they can do anything now with this because now they don't have to be experts and masters of a bunch of different things. They can now use this one tool and it can help them accomplish whatever idea that they have. It's a feedback loop. We talked about the 3 ways of becoming a leader in AI. Being early, being an early adopter, committing yourself to the journey that, yes, this is important, and yes, my family is going to be a part of this. Because I can clearly see where the world is headed, huh? Right? Number 2, learning the modern tools outside of AI. Those are also important, very, very important. And then number 3, being a generalist first, and then specializing, yes? So, I just want to do a quick temperature check here. Okay, I just want to do a quick temperature check. Have you found it eye-opening to see where AI technology is at right now? All right, type a yes in the chat if you've had a few light bulb moments. All right, I just want to kind of gauge there's 341 people here right now. That's amazing. All right, have you found it eye-opening? All right, question number 2 is, do you see how this disrupts the way that things are done in the world? It absolutely disrupts things in the world, doesn't it? This is like a big thing, not a tiny thing, right? It does, absolutely. Yes, huge. Question number 3 is, do you also see what we need to learn changes, right, to be successful in life? What we need to learn absolutely changes, doesn't it? It's not the same stuff that we learned 10, 15 years ago. No, things change and you got to adapt to it. And unfortunately, schools don't adapt to stuff like this in time, right? No, it's actually quite slow. And now what you don't want is you don't want your kids to look back at their high school years and then think about how much time they wasted learning things that was never really useful for them. Okay? Like sine and cosine. Yeah, engineers use that, but I've never once had to use sine and cosine functions in my day-to-day work. Right? So many examples of how much I never used. Okay? So I've mentored thousands of students across the entire world, right, globally. Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. And what I have come to the conclusion is that everyone's going to be late to this. Most everyone. They're not going to see it coming, and even if they do see it coming, they're not going to do anything about it. Okay, that's the conclusion I've come to the realization. Because where do you learn this stuff, right? No institution's teaching this stuff. Do you learn this stuff in college? No, you don't. Colleges are going to take years to adapt to this stuff, and by the time they adapt, guess what? It's already going to have changed, right? The only way to learn this stuff is by being a pioneer. Planting the flag on the ground in uncharted territory, having a little bit of curiosity, all right? Taking a little bit of time out of your weekend or afternoons to learn about this and actually use it. That's how you learn this stuff. Okay? And if you do become an early adopter, you're going to win big. Your family's going to win big. Because this is a massive trend, a massive opportunity. All right? And so the problem that I have with my business, starterschool.com, is that I don't need another 1,000 things to do. Okay? I'm pretty busy as it is. I'm actually very busy. All right? But you know what? This seems pretty dang important for the business that I'm in, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. This AI stuff, it actually affects teenagers the most because they're going to be picking career paths and going into college, and they're going to realize that there's fewer and fewer opportunities. So I feel like I had to do something about this. All right, I already had a plan for the summer. Right, summer's just a couple months away. I had an amazing plan. We were going to host contests, and we're going to do all sorts of cash prizes stuff for teens. It was really exciting. But I tossed out that plan. I tossed it out. I said, I have to change. Even though I did all this work, I have to actually prioritize AI. I have to. So I created a new plan. Okay? Would anyone be interested in hearing about the AI pilot program that I put together? Type a yes in the chat if you got a teenager and you're interested in entertaining this new AI pilot program I'm putting together for this summer. In fact, we're launching this April 1st. Okay? We're launching this April 1st. Wow, that's awesome. There's 326 people here. I can see a ton of people interested in the AI pilot program. Okay, this is what it's called. It's called the AI rotation program. What the heck is a rotation program? Well, let me explain. When I got my first big boy job at Texas Instruments, I was an electrical engineer. I got my first big boy job, and they put me inside of a rotation program. The first 3 months, I had to shadow someone from the field sales office, like one of the sales directors, and we flew all over the country meeting with customers, and I had to learn from what he did. And then after month 3, they actually moved me to the Dallas office, where I shadowed someone in the product marketing division. How do we explain this to the customers? What about all the microcontrollers and the Bluetooth equipment and the battery equipment? How do we create these flyers for our customers so that they know exactly what the specs are? And then, after month 6, they moved me to the sales operation division, where I learned how to negotiate contracts. How much volume discount could we give and still make the business work? How do we actually know what to price things on each department, each component? Right? Texas Instruments makes all the components for the iPhones and the Androids and the mics that you see here and the computer that you're using. They make all those little bitty components. So finally, after the entire rotation, I got to pick the one I was most interested in, and I got to actually specialize in that. And that was a really amazing opportunity for me because it helped me understand the holistic picture, the full A to Z process of how sales and marketing is done at Texas Instruments. It was incredibly valuable for me. So what is the AI rotation program? It's the exact same thing, but utilizing all the technology that you heard about today. Everything that you heard about today is included in the AI rotation program. They first start off in AI coding, which is the most important one. They learn how to build an actual software business. Okay, this is not a course. Okay, if you think this is a course, it's not a course. They're starting off in AI coding. They're building an actual software feature. They don't have to have ideas. There's 1,000 things that they can replicate. Billion-dollar companies are doing. They can actually take their ideas and use them for themselves. And then they learn the AI automations, how to get AI to work for you even while you sleep. Then how do you use all these video technologies in AI to advertise this new business? How do you use all these design tools to actually promote your business? How do you create incredibly compelling AI animations to actually get customers? Right? And then the music one is just for fun, and then we got AI motion graphics as well. So this entire rotation program allows them to be the type of person that has a ton of different skills, and they're actually using it in a productive way, building their own software business, something that was literally impossible to do just a few months ago for teenagers. You would have needed money or time or people, right? And none of this stuff is hard. Nope. It's so easy, actually. They just need to know how. And they need to have a structure so that they actually do it and prioritize it. But this stuff used to be very hard. You had to go to college to learn this stuff. You had to sit in traffic to learn this stuff. You had to go study for hours and hours and hours at the library, right? Cram for tests, get your degree, get your experience. No, not anymore. It's very different now. Digital businesses are very powerful. They can do all of this from their own house. In fact, I'm over here in Austin, Texas with my fiance and my cat. You don't need to drive anywhere. Right? And no, this is not an AI fiance. Okay, she's my actual fiance. All right. So all you need is a laptop computer and an internet connection. Do you have that? If you or your family has a laptop computer and an internet connection, yeah, you can do this. All you're missing is the knowledge component now, the structure of all this. Because once you learn this, you can now get as much done as a 50-person team back in 2005. Things that would have taken months or tens of thousands of dollars to accomplish. So this rotation program covers all the tools that your teenager needs to, how to use the tool, and how to actually build something useful. Okay, so this is going to be the most up-to-date AI program for teenagers that exists. We're going to constantly be updating it. And your teenager was going to walk away learning 7 different AI skills in a matter of 3 months and walking away with a business that actually proves it. Right? Not a portfolio, not grades or test scores, not a resume. No, they're going to have an actual business that proves that they've actually launched and used these AI tools productively. So I'm curious, do you want your teenager to become an early adopter of AI? I'm very curious. Right? Type a yes in the chat if you think that this is something you want your teenager to be a part of. Okay? You can't even buy this right now if you wanted to. We're launching this April 1st. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to download the chat history of everyone that's typing in a yes here in the chat so that I know who's actually interested. Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. All right, so here's the investment, okay? I wish I could provide all this information for free, but I'm not Mr. Elon Musk, so there's an investment here. Each one of these rotations is a different price point. AI coding is $189. AI automations is $189. AI advertising is $129. AI design is $129. $129, $129, and then $49 for the music one. And then, of course, support for 3 months is $118. All this is $1,297, and it's well worth it. It's actually worth way more than that. Being this early in a new technology, oh my gosh, I'd probably pay double or triple for something like this. So if you have a teenager between 12 and 19, okay, I want to help you be an early adopter of this technology for your own family. Okay, it has to be in the calendar for it to be real, right? You got to be in the system for all this to be real. So what I decided to do is I decided to make you guys an offer so good. So good. So good that only a late adopter wouldn't buy. Okay, check this out. Check this out. So I was thinking to myself, all right, how do I get everyone here involved in this? How would I do that? How do I help them actually have the courage to actually take action on this and put it on the calendar so that it's real? I was like, maybe I should just cut the price in half. Maybe I should just cut the price in half. That would be amazing. I bet you so many people would join in if I just said, hey, it's $647 for the early adopters. Get started. But I was like, no, I think I can do better. What if I just remove the one from the front? Huh. I wonder how many people would be losing their minds. Okay? So here's what I've done, okay? If you're willing to be an early adopter in this, join in before we launch here. It's $297 one time. Okay? Here's what you get. Here's what you get. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post the link here in the chat. For those of you who think that this is an opportunity that you want your teens involved in, we're launching this in just a few weeks. You're going to have early adopter price point. It's $297 or 3 installments of $129. Tap on the link that I've just pasted in the chat and complete your registration so that you're in the system. Because once you are in the system, that's when I get to start investing into you and your family. Yes? That's when I get to start investing into you and your family. So when does this all begin? You can start anytime after April 1st. You can have them start immediately in April 1st. That would be amazing for them. Or maybe you want to schedule something like this for the summer. This is a 3-month program. Okay? This can be done across this summer too. That would be amazing. All right, so what is the age range? If you have a teenager between 12 and 19, get them involved in this 100%. Right? If you have an 11-year-old that's highly tech, or a 10-year-old and highly tech, maybe give it a shot as well. Okay, I bet you they could do it if they're highly tech. If you have a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old, or even if you want to do this as an adult, you can do it. Okay, but it's made for teenagers. We're specifically simplifying things so that they understand it fully. All right, what is the time commitment on something like this? Well, it's about 2 to 3 hours per week minimum, okay? But what I have found in our early beta program for this is that teenagers, they get obsessed with these new technologies and they make progress like crazy. In just a few weeks, they can actually, they really own it, right? They are building a software feature and they end up owning it. It's amazing what I've seen over the last couple months doing this. And this works globally, by the way. If you're sitting here, you're someone from Canada, or you're from Dubai, or maybe you're from the United Kingdom or Ireland or Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong. Yeah, we have support across all major time zones. But specifically, most of those participating are here in the United States. All right, I'm over here in Austin, Texas. So what are they actually doing? Well, they're starting off with the AI coding. They're building a software business. They don't have to have their own idea. They can borrow ideas from companies that already exist, and then they can apply their own creativity. They can compete with billion-dollar companies. Isn't that crazy? This literally wasn't possible just a few months ago. Okay, and if you have 2 teenagers, make sure to change the quantity from 1 to 2. Okay? If you have them share, it's not going to work. You're going to have them overlapping on all their course curriculum. All right? So if you have 2 or 3 teenagers, make sure you change the quantity from 1 to 2 or even 3. All right? So let me help you figure out if this is the right decision for you or not. Okay? I've been in business for myself full-time for 11 years. All right? Full-time for 11 years. And let me explain how my brain has worked over the last decade of being in business. All right? I have to keep my ears open. I have to keep my eyes wide open. I'm paying attention. I'm looking for different advantages. Because if I don't have those different advantages, I die. Right? The business dies. So I have to be focused on the most important things. And AI is one of those important things that I have gone all in on. Once I see enough proof that something is valuable, something is worth it, I take the arrow and I start moving. I don't care if people disagree with me. They just haven't figured out what I have yet. I take the arrow and I start moving. It doesn't matter. I take action right away. I have to, because being an early adopter means I get to show up to the party and sit wherever I want. All the different opportunities, they're unsaturated. You don't want to be a late majority adopter of this stuff, because you're going to show up to the party and you're just going to be picking the crumbs off the ground. You don't want your family to only be picking the crumbs off the ground. No, you want them to pick and choose the opportunities that they want to participate in, and you want there to be no competition, right? So that's the opportunity that exists for teenagers. So I wanted to do everything in my power here today to help you say yes to this, so that it becomes real, so that your family actually becomes an early adopter. I wanted to do everything in my power to help you make a decision. So what I did is I created 6 amazing bonuses. For those of you who are the early adopter families, would you like to hear about the 6 bonuses that I created for you? I think you're going to absolutely be losing your mind, okay? Now, I'm going to answer questions here in just a moment. All right, and actually, I already see a bunch of you guys joining already. Oh my gosh. All right. In fact, type a done in the chat once you've completed your registration, so that I can give you a little shout out, okay? Wow, Chris, you said done so fast. That's amazing. Congratulations. All right. So for those of you who have already completed your registration, type a done in the chat so I can give you a shout out. Now, let me get into the 6 bonuses, okay? The first bonus that you're going to receive, if you take this leap of faith with me, and if you're able to commit to your family learning this as an early adopter, is I'm going to give you free access to VIP concierge help for your teen. What the heck is that? VIP concierge help? Let me show you, okay? So a lot of y'all, maybe some of y'all might be customers of ours inside of Starter School already. For those of you who are already your teens are already participating, you know exactly what you're looking at here. This is the Starter School virtual office. You see my little character here? I'm controlling him right now. All right? So let me leave my private office here. Okay? So inside of this virtual office, students are showing up and sitting at their desks, and anytime that they need help and support, they just walk into this instructor's office here. They can unmute themselves, and they can share their screen and get help. All right, this is typically $118 per month. I'm going to throw this in for free. We have access to help and support across all the time zones. 20 hours a day worth of help and support from human beings. These are not AIs. These are humans that are trained on all of this, so that they can help your teenager break past whatever problem that they're dealing with, so that they don't have to be the one, you don't have to be the one, trying to help them, trying to figure it out. No, we're going to take care of that for you. I'm going to throw this in as a completely free bonus. If you're willing to take this little leap of faith with me, that's what the VIP Concierge Help Desk is. You're going to get access to that for free. Okay, we support all major time zones. Doesn't matter what country you're in. If you're in the United States, doesn't matter what, if you're homeschooling or if you're doing it after school or even on the weekends. We even provide help and support on the weekends. Isn't that crazy? All right, so that's bonus number one. All right, 3 months worth of help and support for your teenager for free. Bonus number two is you're going to get behind the scenes of how we actually built the company over the last 5 years. Myself and my business partner, Jason, goodness gracious, we have had to scale this operation like you wouldn't believe. This is going to help your teenager understand how much effort it takes to actually help thousands of people. They have no idea what is required of us or other businesses. All right, this behind the scenes is going to help them understand, okay, how are they tracking their data? How do their databases work? Where are they keeping their servers? What the heck is a server in the first place? How do they advertise and get customers for their business? This is going to be really eye-opening to see how much effort it takes for us to have built this business over the last 5 years. Okay, you're going to get this for free. You can't even buy this, by the way. You can't even buy this. This is just a free bonus I'm going to throw in. If you're willing to take the leap of faith, complete that registration. So I'm going to paste the link here in the chat. All right, there are 6 bonuses. For those of you who have already signed up, that's amazing. You're going to receive all this that I'm explaining here. So bonus number 1 was the VIP Concierge Help and Support for 3 months. Bonus number 2 is the behind the scenes of how we built the company and scaled it to thousands and thousands of students being supported. Bonus number 3 is AI certification. All right. Claude and Codex are very important tools and technologies, and if your teenager at the end of all of this can pass a little examination, we're going to actually give them a certificate. We're going to certify them as an organization. Starterschool.com is going to certify them. It's not hard to do this stuff. All right, they can do it. I'm sure they can, especially if they go through the full rotation. Right? This is something you can download as a PDF. You can attach to their college applications, their job applications, whatever they go into. All right. So bonus number 1 is the VIP help and support. Bonus number 2 is the behind the scenes. Bonus number 3 is an AI certification that you can print out, download, attach to their resume. Bonus number 4 is a recommendation letter specifically written from me, the founder and CEO of the company. Guys, you can't even buy this. I don't sell recommendation letters. If your teenager is able to get to the very end of the rotation program and have a business to show for it, I am going to brag about them like you wouldn't believe. I'm going to brag about them like crazy because they're very impressive to be able to have done that. All right. So, maybe this is something that differentiates themselves from all the other applicants, right? Because maybe everyone has their English teacher's recommendation letter. Maybe everyone has their coach's recommendation letter. All right. I'm not saying I'm better than the English teacher or the coach. It's just different, right? I support thousands of teenagers inside of starter school. So before I get into bonus number 5 and 6, which is obviously I saved the best bonuses for last, right? Before I get into that, I want to help you feel safe and secure about this decision. I don't want you thinking that this is a big risk. It's not. Right? In fact, I have a no worries guarantee here. Right? Is 180 days enough time? Is that enough time? That's 6 times as the amount that Amazon gives you, right? Is 180 days enough time? That way, instead of thinking about all the ways that things can go wrong with this, let's get rid of the worst case scenario. You can get a refund. I don't care. It's $297, whatever. All right? If you absolutely need a refund, you can have it. You don't want a refund, okay? You want your teenager to learn and grow inside of this new artificial intelligence trend that's happening. You don't want a refund. But if you need one for whatever case, if you need your money back, if your teenager doesn't want to do it, if your computer blows up, or you move to Antarctica, you can get a refund. It's fine. It doesn't matter to me. Is that fair? Okay. So now we can start being excited about this, right? Because the worst case scenario is gone. All right. So only 13.5% of y'all are going to join. I know that. These are the numbers that I've discovered. So are you guys an early adopter? Because only 13.5% of the families are going to be an early adopter. That's the numbers that I've seen. A lot of people think that they're an early adopter, but they don't take the right amount of actions to actually solidify that. right? And so what I put together with the AI rotation program will help your teenager, will guarantee that your teenagers are part of that early adopter group. Very few people, everyone wants to be an early adopter, but then when it comes time to actually take action,